When I was 26 years old, I started having flashbacks of this really terrible place they had sent me to when I was 5 years old. At the time, I was a professional tattoo artist. It was very distracting. It was consuming all of my free time and even get in the way of my work. So I went back to see the place. I had such a fragmented memory of it. I guess I wanted to see. I got there and it didn't look familiar at all, but there was a hole in the fence. I walked up to the little white house that had red brick buildings beside it, and I looked at the door. There was a bronze plaque that was, I don't know if it was rusted over or what, but it was hard to read, but I could barely make out the words Cumberland House. And my stomach sank. Felt sick to my stomach. So I crawled through the hole in the fence and walked around the brick building. And when I got to the other side of the building, that was the place. It all came back. The facility that they had locked us up in, the playground, the little schoolhouse, all that stuff was all there. Seeing it helped, because I was in control of my life at that point, and I could see it for what it was. It was a very strange experience. The windows were all boarded up. Grass had grown through the wood chips on the playground. And the flashbacks went away until I was 46. Being an artistic child, I'm thinking that my sister had watched a lot of horror films, Friday the 13th, stuff like that, and I was drawing pictures of that. Apparently I drew a murder scene, and Kevin Barber, the school counselor, contacted DHS. They put me in a facility for emotionally disturbed children. The place was called Cumberland House. And it was an awful place. The memories I have of it are just horrific. I remember the exact moment they took me from my mother. I cried for a long, long time, wanting to go back home to my family. I miss them very much. I cried for a long, long time about that. One thing that certainly bothers me, and I don't understand it, is I have a memory of DHS asking me if I preferred the company of boys or girls. I was fucking 5, fucking 5 years old, and they're asking me that. And at 5 years old, I didn't know anything about sex. I thought they were talking about friendships. Why they would ask a 5-year-old something like that? While it was an institution, they took us on a lot of outings. I remember going to Dragon Park, and apparently there was a field trip from my hometown there, and because my cousin was there, and I was really happy to see him. And when the bus was loading up for them to leave, he wanted me to come with him, and I wanted to so bad. And I think maybe I tried to, but they called me back. I remember watching the bus drive away and feeling very, very, very sad. I'm proud of that cousin, Johnny Keith. He grew up to be a really good man. Very, very proud of him. I can remember these older kids at some part of the place at Cumberland House were trying to reassure me that it was okay. They weren't the kids that was They weren't the kids that were locked up in the same facility as me, so I don't know where they come from. But it makes me wonder how long they had been there. You know, did they spend their entire childhood in facilities like that? They seemed to be very well used to it in their demeanor. And I can remember the staff. There was a guy named Walter. Looked a little bit like Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies. And I didn't like him. There was a woman named Sharon. And there was an elderly black lady who cooked in the kitchen for us. And I remember her being very sweet lady. I would love to go back and hug her and thank her for being so kind in a terrible place like that. There was a guy named Mark and some other staff members. I remember one of the other kids coming into my room. We were two to a room in that place, and I remember a kid coming in there and telling me to go to another room and cuss somebody out. So I did, and had a lot of write-offs. They were very strict on their punishments, and I remember, maybe related to this incident or not, but they locked me in a room all day where I was to do my schoolwork and stuff. Probably the size of a walk-in closet or a little bigger, maybe. I think my mom was pretty pissed about that. They would consider that abuse today while they were doing shit like that to kids. I don't know. I remember them calling a group meeting because two of the other kids, I'm assuming they were a little bit older than me, but apparently on one of the outings they had found a condom, and they were playing with it, or maybe even somebody put it on, or whatever the fuck. I didn't see it. I had no idea what they were talking about. I didn't even know what a condom was. It's just very strange memory in the lobby, having a group discussion about that. I don't know why they made it a group discussion, you know, because I didn't even see what they were talking about. I remember being very uncomfortable with one of the staff members who peeped in the shower at us to make sure we were washing our hair correctly. It made me feel very uncomfortable. I am thankful that the showers were separate. We didn't shower together. It was like a big room with like little cubicles for showers. So I'm grateful for that. You know, I think at some point I had a My Little Buddy doll and used to take it on the playground with me, but I know that I had a Lion-O figure from the Thundercats toy line, and I kept it on the bedside table in my room as a protector, that he would protect me from that place. Maybe even get me out of that place one day. In my adult life, I'm known for being a very strong and tough and somewhat hard person. But there was a time that I was an innocent child too. And those are my memories of it. It's that awful fucking institution. It seemed like I'd been there forever. And I remember one night I was in bed and a staff member came to the door and told me to get my stuff together, that my mother had come to get me. And I had no problem getting the fuck out of there, let me tell you. I'll never forget my roommate. He was new, and I'll never forget him crying, begging me not to leave him in that awful place alone. He's begging me, and I'll never forget it. Apparently I'd been there for 6 months, and instead of sending me back home, they wanted to keep me another 6 months, and my mother said no. And she went in there one night against their will and took me. And they were mad and wanted her to sign papers. And she wouldn't. She took me and left. And Fairview Elementary School would not let me back in their school under those premises. So I had to go to Hillsboro to finish out my school year. I had terrible dreams for years that I was going back, or that I had to go back. I don't know what they expected the outcome to be from something like that. For me, it wasn't good. For a little while, I chased people around the house with kitchen knives and shit. Like, my mom had to hide all the knives and the sharp objects in the house. I don't remember that. I don't think it lasted very long. I do recall going back to Fairview and going back to normal. The best I could, anyway. And getting to second grade, and the teacher had worked at Cumberland House. And every time I got in trouble, she made damn sure that I knew that she could send me right back. I think she really enjoyed that. Miss Johnson was her name. Awful teacher. And I hated her because that was terrifying. I would get into trouble later in life as a teenager and end up in a lot of other places. But those don't bother me. You know, I got in trouble, and it is what it is. It bothered me very badly that they would take a kindergartner and send him to a fucking institution for disturbed children over some drawings. There's got to be more to it than that. Either I'm not being told the whole story, or it is that. And those people are evil. Fucking evil. You're a fool to think I would ever trust the government after experiencing something like that. I can say that before that experience, I was a very shy child. I wasn't shy no more. I became a very wild child. Wild. Like the stuff legends are made of. You know, I can't help but wonder if that experience had anything to do with it. It has taken me 40 years to put the pieces together, and I'm still left with a lot of questions.